These are the games I played in March. Alright everyone, hope you're doing well. Thanks for pressing play once again. I'm the man they call Pixel Paul, and these are the games I played in March. Now, I'm very aware that a lot of my videos are quite long and, almost sort of like 30 minutes, a lot of them. So I'm going to try and make this one short, sharp and snappy. Let's try and get it under 20 minutes if we can. So I'm going to dive straight into the games that I played last month. Now, this month I have been on a bit of a handheld trip. I've been playing a lot of handheld games on various consoles, but there have been one or two console games I've been playing as well. PlayStation 5, I've started a new game. It's an old game, but it's new for me. So I've started to play Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, I've not played an Assassin's Creed game for quite a while. I think the last one I played was probably Syndicate. I played that maybe early last year. Quite enjoyed that one. It was okay. I've not really played any of the new or newer Assassin's Creed games for a while, and so far I've been quite impressed with Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's not too bad. It kind of reminds me, it's a bit of a, it feels a bit old school, a bit like Assassin's Creed 2. 2 was always my favourite of the series, and this feels quite sort of similar to it. So what I've played so far, I've been quite impressed. It has hooked me. I am committing to it. I'm going to play through it. Which I haven't been able to do on PlayStation 5 recently. For some reason, I just haven't been able to commit to many games. I played RoboCop earlier in the year. I gave up a little bit on Horizon Zero Dawn's remaster, but I probably will go back to that. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm hopeful that I'm going to play through this properly and give it a really good go. But yeah, so far quite impressed with it. Graphically very nice. Nice score. There's an interesting story to it as well. Slightly different setting, I guess, as well. But yeah, it just feels kind of quite sort of old school Assassin's Creed. Yeah, we'll see what that one's like. I haven't got Shadows yet. I have no intention of getting Shadows yet. I will probably wait a little bit for a price drop on Shadows. But yeah, it's kind of whetted my appetite for the series again. I might try Valhalla. Was it Valhalla? After I've played this one, might give that a quick go. I've also got Odyssey and Origins still to play, so yeah, it's piqued my interest in the series again. So yeah, quite enjoying Mirage. Okay, so back onto consoles. I've also been playing. So I gave this game a go, Taito Legends. This was a pickup from March. I got this, and I've played a few games off it as well. Really nice collection of games, this one. So what have I been playing on it? I played Space Invaders, of course. I also played Super Kicks, mainly because I've never played that game and I've always fancied playing it on the Game Boy. There's a version of that on the Game Boy and I've always wanted to play it, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but yeah, interesting. What else? Operation Wolf. Now I remember playing that years and years and years ago. I think I played it in an arcade. I think I may have played one of the home computer versions of it as well. But yeah, Operation Wolf, that's a bit of a... It's not easy to play on the PlayStation 2. The sort of aiming cursor moves around at a very sort of very odd rate. So it takes some getting used to, but quite enjoyed that. I played New Zealand Story as well, a little bit on it. A bit of elevator action, and there was something else. I'm sure I played something else. Oh, Zookeeper. Yeah, that wasn't quite what I was expecting. Zookeeper for me was always like, I played Zookeeper on the Nintendo DS and it's like a puzzle game, and this isn't quite like that. But anyway, yeah, great collection this one, Taito Legends. Very impressed with that. Got that really cheap as well from a car boot sale last month, so happy with that. Now another game that I picked up last month, and I started to play one of the games on this collection straight away. My second favourite game of all time, and it is the Orange Box, and specifically Half-Life 2. So yeah, I started to play Half-Life 2 again. God, it's been a few years since I played Half-Life 2 actually, and such an amazing game. This isn't the greatest. This is not the best version of it though, sadly. The loading times and the amount of loading times is absolutely horrendous. I don't remember there being that many, sort of loading screens, and it just seemed to be every few sort of yards you was walking there was another loading screen, and I just don't remember that happening, particularly on the Xbox 360 version of the Orange Box, and I certainly don't remember it on the original Xbox. Maybe I'm wrong, it's been a while since I've played it, but it just seemed to be every other minute.
So yeah, plus there's no trophies for this either, so that's a bit disappointing. I'm not a mad trophy hunter or anything like that, but just the fact that, you know, I'm playing it again, playing it on PlayStation, I thought there'd be trophies, but there aren't trophies for this, so that's a bit of a shame. But it's still, you know, Half-Life 2, it's still an amazing game, so yeah, gonna probably try and finish Half-Life 2. If not, I might just try and play the Xbox 360 version again, because it's a bit frustrating, that one, must admit. So, also, what have I been playing? So, a game that I started earlier in the month, and I picked this up again, I think earlier last month, Dragon's Crown Pro. I think I may have talked about this game a little bit in last month's What I Played video, because I've sort of played it over February and March. I've not played it as much recently. I still do quite like it. It's a sort of scrolling beat 'em up type, Golden Axe type game with RPG elements. It's very different. It's visually it's quite different, but quite nice. It just started to get a little bit samey. Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far, but for whatever reason, I've just stopped playing it and not gone back to it. But I really need to go back and try and finish this. So it's not bad. It's not brilliant. It's just okay. That's all I can say about it. It's one of those where, yeah, probably need to give it a go yourself. I think it's come down in... Oh, has it gone up? I can't remember. I remember seeing it in a CEX last month, because I got this really, really cheap. And I think it actually went up. I think it's about £20 in CEX now, or something like that. So, yeah, I'm still a bit on the shelf with this one, but I will try and get that finished. Dragon's Crown Pro. And I think that might be it for consoles. Wrong. There was one more console game that I did play, and we'll pick that one up now. Again, this was a pickup from last month, but I was playing it a little bit at the start of this month. Wave Race 64 on the Nintendo 64. Yeah, it's a great game, isn't it, Wave Race? It's of its day a little bit, but still perfectly playable. I've still had a lot of fun playing this again. The water physics is still really good in it, to be fair, as well. So, yeah, Wave Race 64. I was really pleased to pick this one up, actually. And yeah, playing it again. Yeah, it's a good game. Not brilliant, but it is a good game. So yeah, Wave Race 64. So that is the console games that I played this month. On to the handheld stuff. So we'll start with Nintendo DS. Pick those ones out. So I did start to play Ridge Racer DS, which I picked up a couple of weeks ago now. Finally, one of the few Ridge Racer games that I don't have. I used to have it, played it a lot years and years and years ago, and always quite enjoyed it. And it's not a bad Ridge Racer game, this one, at all. It's different. It's a weird one. I remember, because I play Ridge Racer sort of on and off quite often, actually, and I've just remembered another game that I've been playing this month, which I will show you. Well, I might as well show you now, actually. So another one that I was playing was Rage Racer. So Ridge Racer DS, it feels a lot lighter than your normal kind of Ridge Racer game. Whether it's just because it's a portable game, I don't know. But it's still a lot of fun. It's a decent game, Ridge Racer DS. I do like that. And I'm still playing it. And yeah, I played Rage Racer as well. And I wasn't that impressed with this. I was a little bit let down by it. Again, it's not a terrible game or anything like that, but it's just a bit drab looking. It's not what you expect from a Ridge Racer game. It doesn't feel particularly arcadey, and it just feels very serious. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It just feels very, very overly serious. But yeah, visually, it's just a little bit drab compared to some of the other Ridge Racer games. It's not terrible again, but it's not a Ridge game that I think I will go back and play like I did with Type 4. So I was a little bit underwhelmed with that one. Back on the handheld Nintendo DS. So when I bought this game, I did play it a little bit, and I've been on a bit of a scrolling beat 'em up fighting game, whatever you want to call it, phase at the moment. So I thought, well, I'll just give this one a quick go. Ninja Turtles Arcade Attack on the Nintendo DS is awful. It's a terrible game. Turtles games, you know, are usually quite expensive. I think this one has gone up in price a little bit recently. I got it really cheap. but it's not worth picking up. It's not very good at all. Yeah, there's just not much you can say good about this game, sadly. It's just one of those. I mean, it's a Turtles game. It's nice to have it in the collection. It's nice to pick it up. But, yeah, I couldn't recommend it. Not very good, that one. And then the last Nintendo handheld game I played was Spy Hunter as well. And I've really enjoyed that one as well. Decent game, Spy Hunter. You know, much like the other Spy Hunter games, really. Cars with weapons and explosions and dumb but fun. So yeah, I've been enjoying that one, Spy Hunter. I've been playing it on and off, not sort of like committing to it or anything like that. But yeah, what I've played so far of it, really quite enjoy. Handles quite well. There's a lot of controls going on with this game, but it's quite easy to do. It's not as complicated or fiddly as it could have been in a way. So yeah, quite impressed with that one and how they sort of handled it on a handheld console. So yeah, that's a good one. Right, moving on. Many of you might know the story that my PSP stopped working, but I did manage to get it working again. So it's basically the tray, the UMD tray stopped sort of closing properly, but I've managed to fix it, so I've been back onto the PlayStation Portable. And everybody seems to be talking about PSP at the moment. I don't know what it is. I know I did a retro journey video a couple of weeks ago on the PSP, and I don't think that's... I don't think that has influenced it, but there certainly seems to have been a big explosion of interest in the PSP and PSP games, and I love it. I think that's great. But I would say, calm it down a little bit, because if everybody starts going on this PSP journey all at the same time, the prices are going to shoot up. So just calm down with the PSP stuff. And I'm going to talk about PSP again now, so what am I doing? I'm just feeding it, aren't I, really? Anyway, so the PSP games that I've gone back to now, and there's a few of them, I'm just going to go and step on the step. Like I say, there were quite a few of these. Where's the one? There we go. Right, so in no particular order, well, there is a slight order to it, I suppose, but I've been playing Outrun 2006, a lot of racing games this month for some reason, but yeah, Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, that's a really good game, really great sort of arcade racer from Sega, just as good as the console versions, really, this one, very good game, that one. I also tried Lumines for the first time, and yeah, quite enjoyed that one as well. It's different. It's not the easiest game to sort of learn, but once you do, I quite like that. Quite good game. That's the sort of game that is just absolutely perfect for handheld gaming, and that kind of puzzle game. Everything's trying to be Tetris, but this has a good go at it, and yeah, Lumines like that. I also finally played this game, and I got this ages ago, Pursuit Force. Gave that a quick go. And again, it's another sort of car racing game in a way, more of a sort of racing action game. But again, yeah, it's a lot of fun, that. And that's one of those games where, they only brought out Pursuit Force on the PSP, but you just feel like maybe there could have been more with this. I don't know. I mean, it's quite basic. You basically are in a car to start with, and you have to chase like maybe sort of 5 or 6 targets in each mission and sort of jump onto other cars and that sort of thing, exactly like it sort of shows on the front cover. No, it probably is suited to sort of just quick playing handheld type games. I don't think you could necessarily get away with like a full price, full console game of it maybe. But that being said, I quite enjoyed Pursuit Force so far. It's just, again, sort of like dumb but fun. Right up my alley. I like dumb but fun. So the one game I was playing before my PlayStation Portable gave up was Loco Roco. So I have now finished Loco Roco. Absolutely loved it. Spoken about this too much recently, so I'm not going to say too much more about it. But yeah, finished that one. Really enjoyed it. So I then started Loco Roco 2, which is more of the same. I'm starting to see some differences with it. In comparison to the first game now, but it's all right still. It's perfectly good. So I think I've enjoyed Loco Roco, the original game, a little bit more though. But yeah, still enjoying that one, and we'll try and finish that one. And then I also gave Tomb Raider Anniversary on the PSP a go, and I was really surprised at just how good this is on the PSP. just as good as like the PlayStation 2 version, I thought. And it's been a long time since I played Anniversary, long time, and the soundtrack and score for it is just absolutely amazing. Even on the PSP, it comes across really, really well. And yeah, I was just really surprised at how much I really enjoyed playing this on the PSP, because it's a great game. Obviously, it's sort of a remake of the original Tomb Raider game, which is just, it's absolutely fantastic anyway. But yeah, Anniversary on the PSP, very impressed with that. Right, so the last few games that I was playing this month, and they're all on the Nintendo Game Boy. They're my original Game Boy as well. I've been playing these on that for some reason. I could probably play it on my Game Boy Advance SP, but for some reason I felt the need to just play them on my Game Boy. And yeah, it's such a nostalgia trip doing that. I do love playing on that Game Boy. It's great. So yeah, I've played a few games. I think I've left a couple down there. Pick those up. So these have all been sort of over, quick sessions of games in between doing other things. There is one game in particular which I've sort of been trying to finish again, but I don't know, really struggled to get there. I did finish it again in the end, but yeah, I'll save that to the end because that's going to be my game of the month, I think, for March, because I just really enjoyed playing it again. So this month I picked up the Turrican collection on PlayStation 4. Let's grab that and just show you. That's the Turrican Flashback Collection. I'm sure I did play actually one of these this month as well, so maybe I've missed that one out as well. Completely unorganised as always. I think I was playing Mega Turrican, because that seemed to be the best out of this lot. But it just reminded me of Turrican on the Game Boy, so I dug that out and I was playing Turrican on the Game Boy. Very sort of similar to those games actually. It's kind of shown me just how much of a half decent port this was onto the Game Boy. But it's very tough. It's just, there's so much going on and so much going on the screen. It's quite a hard game on the Game Boy, but yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I also played Solar Striker. That's a very simple top-down sort of shooter type game. One of the early Game Boy games, but I enjoyed playing through that, and I did finish that again. I also played Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or Excellent Game Boy Adventure, I should say. That's a weird game, not what you would expect a Bill and Ted game to be. But yeah, it's alright, that. I had a quick blast on Revenge of the Gator, which is basically a pinball game on the Game Boy. It's good fun. I actually prefer that one to the Kirby pinball game, if I'm honest. I quite like that one. One of my all-time favourite Game Boy games, Motocross Maniacs. Just gave a few sort of tracks on that game a go as well. But yeah, again, one of my sort of like original Game Boy games. I do like that game. And then the one that is probably my game of the month, because I'd forgotten just how much I like this game, how much I love it. It's not a tough game really, but for some reason it was just beating me and I just couldn't finish it quite. But I did do it eventually. And I finished it years and years ago, obviously, but for some reason I just really struggled to get it finished this time. It took a few sort of sessions to get it done. Castlevania Adventure on the Game Boy. Yeah, but I do love this game. Again, it's one of the original games that I sort of played on my Game Boy. I remember my friend had it and played his copy first, and just absolutely loved it. Loved the music for it. It's not the perfect Castlevania game by any stretch. The slowdown in it is absolutely horrendous. The jumping mechanics are really cumbersome. It takes some practice actually. But there's just something about this game, and I will always love this game on the Game Boy. So yeah, I'm gonna say the Castlevania Adventure on Game Boy is this month's game of the month for me. So they were the games that I played in March. Very sort of patchy month for me, this one. Apart from sort of Assassin's Creed, Mirage, and over the last sort of week of the month, that's the one I've sort of started to pour more time into. I started the month quite well, then I got kind of ill, and yeah, just like I say, I've been sort of playing pick up and play type games recently, but I'm hoping to get Assassin's Creed Mirage finished. I also need this month, April, to try and get back into PlayStation VR, because I've just not touched VR now for a couple of months, and I really want to get back into that as well. So Aim is to try and get back to PSVR this month if I can. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching as always. Let me know in the comments what you've been playing this month. Always interesting to know what you've been playing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.